The name Bauhütte it originally comes from the Middle Ages, when the masons of the medieval cathedrals would build a little wooden hut on the site of the cathedral, which would stay there for the period of the construction, 200, 300 years. And anybody who wanted work or wanted to participate in the construction of the cathedral, wanted a job, would come to the hut and get their job. So it was on the one hand, the medieval Bauhütte was a very direct, existentially important part of the community, for people's work. And on the other hand, at the same time, it was a means by which people could participate in actually building their city, actually deciding and being part of the decision-making process of what the city looked like. So our original concept was to translate that into something which had a similar kind of simplicity, and at the same time that sort of complexity of being of how different aspects of community life and participation and urban development, how they come together to try and, that was, if you like, our ambition was to be a contemporary form of Bauhütte. And originally we wanted also to have programs here which were involved in job creation or job, giving people work and helping people find work in construction or in the community. Was something which was more difficult to implement than we imagined, but the spirit of the Bauhütte as a place where we located it here because of the urban development that's going on around. We wanted to building sites, when something gets built, is always a place with a lot of energy for the community, because something new is appearing. People are very worried. What's going on behind this fence? What's it got to do with me? Is it going to be something good? Is it going to be something interesting? Is it going to improve matters for me? Is it going to improve my life here? Is it going to make it more complicated? We don't know, and so on. So it's at the same time, we see in Berlin, where there's a lot of sites, that the fascination that people have with building sites is really big. They just also want to see how does a building get built and so on. So we wanted to kind of tap into that energy of a building site and tap into the energy of a city which is in the process of being created and in the process of change, and try and be a little parasite onto that change to allow people to think about what's possible, and to allow people to have a space where they can discuss what their role might be in that change, or in the possibility of imagining that change. This particular place, actually, because of the building sites which are going on next door, investors of these sites have also helped contribute towards the financing of the building, and that was something which the district council obliged them to, so it was part of their obligations as part of the purchase, that they invested in community outreach, if you like, in community initiatives, and one of those initiatives was the Bauhütte. So, as I say, there's something slightly parasitic about it. On the one hand, we're not representing those investors, right? We're independent of them, and we don't represent their interests. On the other hand, we're hanging on to the side of both their, the energy of the sites, the energy of the building sites, and also their infrastructure, also financial infrastructure, because they're kind of partly financing us. So that was really why the location here came about, and because these developments are in the Friedrichstadt is a place which has where different worlds meet each other. There's a lot of tourists here. There's large cultural institutions. At the same time, there's a huge proportion of social housing. Considering it's a central location in Berlin, a lot of poverty, a lot of people who feel who are very on the edge of the political discussion about the future. Who don't have a voice, and so we wanted to make a place which would facilitate that voice and let that meet. Somehow make an interface between that and